only so many in and outs. Like that's why they're not all over the country. It's because it's actually quite hard to get that quality everywhere.
My brother's been trying to get Chick-fil-A into Australia. He's made several. My brother opens up shopping centres, and he's been trying to get franchises out to Australia.
That's amazing.
And the Chick-fil-A people are like, nah, you got to come to church with us and shit.
Yeah, that's exactly. Australians are way too socialist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You guys are nice liberals. Bring on the homophobia. Maybe we'll come in.
I think we're live.
Oh, okay, we're on. Okay, is this the Patreon?
Yeah.
All right, we were just talking about Chick-fil-A. We were talking about In-N-Out. Two of my favourite, not even fast food restaurants, just restaurants. And now my wife is getting on board with Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A is bringing out a vegan chicken sandwich.
Oh, it's the cauliflower one, right?
Made out of cauliflower.
And people are fucking pissed about it.
Oh, yeah, there'd be people that are angry about it. But my wife just sent me a photo of a cauliflower Chick-fil-A sandwich with the saying, "Don't mind if I do." And that's my wife's lingo for I'm up for this. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping, because then we can go to Chick-fil-A as a family and I don't have to sneak it.
Yeah.
But I have a theory on fast food restaurants because In-N-Out is politically, like a lot of people say that they donate money. No one knows. Everyone always says they donate money to something. Chick-fil-A donates money to something. Give me the actual things that now someone's going to write and tell us.
I think they probably have looked it up, but it's probably the CEO or something like that. My
favorite chocolate's Cadbury's chocolate from Australia or from England, right? And then there was a documentary in Britain that were like, the cocoa beans are being picked by child labour. And I'm like, I can't wear Nike shoes. I can't have an Apple computer.
Yeah.
Like, this is up for these companies to fix it. I'm just the guy who gets I don't want to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
And that might be a little bit callous of me, but I have a theory that the more religious and the more money donated to hate groups, the better the food. I think the food, there's something, because these are passionate people.
Fuck the idea of made with love, made with hate.
Whether you agree with them, they're passionate. And they like things done. And they're passionate also. They're passionate. They're anti-gay passionate, but they're also chicken passionate.
I love that. What's the motto? Evil tastes so good.
But that's the thing is, like, I used to do a bit about this, but like Taco Bell, they don't give they wouldn't give a fuck if gay people fucked on their counter. They would not protest it anyway. They'd be like, we're Taco Bell.
That's called the cheesy fiesta potato.
Yeah, we advertise as second dinner. Like, they know what they are.
The fourth meal, I think, right?
Yeah, fourth meal.
Is it four? Oh, well,
yeah.
But
that's still dinner.
That's still second dinner. It still rings true. I didn't want to get the promo wrong. Fourth meal. I don't even eat the first two normally. I'm just a dinner guy. All right. Yeah. Although me and Jack stopped at the hot dog house, the dog house. Love it.
Love Doghouse.
Like, we should introduce Sean.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good
I used
idea.
to live across the street from a doghouse.
Really?
Yeah, right in Burbank.
Oh yeah,
like,
which
not
one?
far from where we are.
That's the one we went to.
Yeah,
we should have seen your old house.
Yeah, you probably did. It was more of a small apartment with one window.
Now,
it's dark. It's a dark time in my life.
If you don't, you don't live there anymore because star of the Goldbergs. You are star of the Goldbergs.
One of the guest star recurring. It's very different from the stars.
No, you're there all the time, and you're a fan favorite. What's the name of the Atkins?
I played Johnny Atkins.
Johnny
Atkins.
Ponytail
Johnson.
Johnny Atkins, and for some reason he was in the school. And then when everyone else graduated, he still stays in the school. And then, like, even in like the future episodes of like the spin-off sitcom, he's the janitor.
Yeah, never leaves.
And now in this season, you're Elvis?
Yes.
All right.
Naturally.
That seems like a natural progression. And it's like, because I remember the early episodes where you were like just the guy who was into Rush.
Yeah, that's right.
And like,
still into Rush. And in the later episodes, you see that I get a Rush tattoo on my chest.
Oh.
So we've actually had to discuss the timelines in case we ever flash forward again, like when the chest tattoo occurs.
Right.
And it's the exact logo on the original 80s concert tour.
Oh, I know the logo. Yeah. Well, the thing about Rush is it's one of those bands that people who are into Rush like are angry if you don't know about Rush. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You meet Rush and they're like...
I nailed it with the character development
pompous,
for sure.
Yeah.
That was a me pitch to the writers.
And they always say that with about Rush as well. Oh, they play their instruments so well. Oh, the instrumentation or whatever. I don't fucking know. But allegedly they play. Oh, look, I know that song that goes. that one. I know
Tom
that one.
Sawyer.
Because it was in
Yeah.
Role Models.
Tom Sawyer, yeah. Well,
That's how I
anybody,
know it.
anybody who really respects Rush knows that Neil Peart was a god.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like that, everyone's second to that man
Well,
as a drummer.
Stern about 4 years ago brought out a Rush pinball machine. So, to get a pinball machine, you got to be doing something right. Because all the other bands are like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. There's an Elvis pinball machine.
AC/DC.
There's an AC/DC, Iron Maiden.
All the other bands had sex. The Rush
Metallica,
guys just played instruments.
Metallica's pinball machines, Guns N' Roses pinball machines, but now Rush has got one.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how it sold. I think that might have been a bad choice, Rush. It's like getting a tragically hip pinball machine. You ever met Canadians and brought up the tragically hip?
No,
That's
what, I don't even know what that
what that
reference
is.
is.
That is the tragically hip is this Canadian. It's like how Crowded House, Australia and New Zealanders go, oh, Crowded House on Neil Finn, right? You don't know Crowded House? No. Oh, come on.
That's from
Hey
your
now,
island, man.
hey
There's
now.
one song that's big. What's the big
Everyone
song?
knows.
Don't Dream It's
Hey
Over.
now, don't dream.
Oh, you can sing.
it's over. Hey now.
Guys, I grew up on pop music and hip
world-
R&B.
But you really don't know that song?
Nah.
Wow.
Wow.
I can quote a lot of Eminem.
Ariana Grande and Miley Cyrus did a duet cover
and
of
it was good.
That shows.
It was good.
That was good.
It was
But that's
really
not because
fucking
they know the
good.
music. It's because like some producer taught them that. That's like
It's the song.
I grew up on that
It's
song.
New Zealand's national anthem. Like no, it is. It's like all their tourist commercials.
New Zealand doesn't exist on 90% of maps. That's how obscure that music is.
Yeah, oh no, it's obscure. But it's so crap. But anyway, so the tragic.
No offense, New Zealand. I can't wait to go there. I want to become an elf.
The tragically hip of this band who Canadians just fucking. And all their songs are called like The Other Side of Yesterday and things like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. When Tomorrow's the Morning. Right? Well, that's like these aren't actual songs, but they're all called things like that. And we have a Canadian friend, Jason Whitehead. He wears tragically hip T-shirts everywhere.
Wasn't he naming his...
He was going to name his Edinburgh show after a tragically hip song. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it's got to Scotland, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
I feel like the male answer of the Spice Girls, like this picture.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That picture is from their final concert. Now, the man in the white top hat, their lead singer, was dying of a terminal cancer.
Oh, that's sad.
And they streamed a concert like a couple of months before he died. They live streamed a concert of the last ever Tragically Hip concert, and they did it on Canadian TV. I was in Canada doing a show that night that was sold out, but 30% of the people did not show up. Because they're like, I can't be missed. This is like the show of a lifetime.
we gotta be out for the Tragically Hip.
Yeah,
show.
it's
It's
like-
Tragically Hip for the first time
It's
ever.
like, couldn't you DVR the tragically? Like, I get it, it's quite a sweet thing. The guy was dying, but I I have a lot of Canadian followers and a lot of Canadian friends, and the Canadians that day were, this is a dark day for the arts.
When you say it like that, it's a bright day.
Yeah. And I
Wait,
still,
what song did they have?
I don't know any of their songs.
He was giving us song names earlier, and I wanted to keep going with that.
I just make up the songs like
He said, tomorrow's the morning. I thought sunlight at sunup.
What's their most good? If you go to Apple Music, what's their
New
top
Orleans
song?
is sinking.
Summer with Snow.
New Orleans is
Wheat Kings,
the
Nautical
fuck?
Disaster, long time running.
Long time running.
That's-
Ahead by a
that's
century.
That's a Doobie Brothers song that you're
Yeah,
thinking
they
of.
might-
Is there a part 2 just called Marathon?
Tragically.
38
That's a good
years
dad
old
joke.
is a song.
Well, but what's their number one song? And I'm gonna just play their number one sooner.
And see if anyone recognizes it.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
There we go.
But it's the Canadian band. All right. It's got a good hook.
Yeah, I'm in. Oh, it's fun.
Are we all tragically hip fans now?
This is how
Top
you
song
make-
on iTunes.
Yeah.
This is how you make a new group of fans.
Blue on the sea, loose and complete under sky, smoky blue.
Never heard it.
Never heard of this in my life.
This guy's voice gives me hope that I can sing whenever I
Well,
want.
he's dead now, so you don't shit on the guy.
Too soon, Sean.
I was giving me hope. I was being optimistic.
God, we bring you on our show and then you fucking
You shit on the
disrespect
lead of
Tragically Hip.
Tragically Hip.
I'm gonna go to his
Forgot the
grave and
name.
shit on that. That's what I'm gonna do.
You know this one? Ahead by a Century.
Ahead by a century.
That's the name of the song. Catchy title. right, we're
I feel
out.
like it sounds like other
enough.
things you recognize, but I don't recognize.
there's-
it.
Forever,
my-
that band's going to remind me of all of you now.
All my point was
You'll
that,
never hear about it again.
that,
so
that Canada has their two big bands, Rush and the Tragically Hip, which internally are the two big bands in Canada. And then they also have, what's the one that does Metal on Metal? Who was that band? There was a
Metal.
There was a documentary about that heavy metal band that everyone said was the biggest heavy metal band.
Anvil?
Anvil. Anvil. The documentary's called Anvil, the Story of Anvil. And Anvil, the Story of Anvil. And it's worth a watch that if you like music documentaries.
Hold on, though.
Wait, isn't
But
it satirical? That
These are
No.
that was a real thing.
It's a real thing. Did you
Oh my
watch
god!
it?
No, I thought it was like a Spinal Tap.
No. What it was is there was the big four, like Slayer and you know, Slayer and Metallica and all that type of stuff. And then there was this band that everyone acknowledged within the metal community.
I feel like, wait, this is made up. It's like a bunch of Canadian guys being like, well, there's Slayer and then Metallica, so we got to have our own. Like, oh yeah, we should have our own. We'll be called Anvil.
Anvil, that's the big.
You sound
that's the-
Irish with your
I know,
Canadian.
I know,
That's the big metal thing you make horseshoes on, an anvil. That you don't get more.
That's more metal
You
than
don't get
any,
more
yeah.
metal than
That
an
is,
anvil.
that is a big chunk of metal.
And their
I
album.
stand corrected. I'm sorry,
Their
Canada.
big song was called Metal on Metal.
I just looked up the most popular bands ever.
Yeah.
Well, there's the band who was very popular. They're back in the day. They were like classic rock. But Nickelback.
Yeah.
That's
we
Canadian?
decided that we were now Nickelback buddies.
No,
Yeah, we like Nickelback.
we all went anti Nickelback, and then we're like, but that song's good. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's
too.
fantastic karaoke.
I'll tell you.
we were at his house a couple of weeks ago, and we're like, wouldn't it be funny if we like got some Nickelback merch like as a bit, and we
As a
just like
joke.
kept it going, and
As a
like,
joke.
what if we went to like a concert as a bit, and like, what if we met Chad Kroeger as a bit? Like, so now we're Nickelback buddies.
Well, Jack, I tell you, watch
that's sick.
Anvil because it's very interesting because
Okay.
they're like they give it another go. They're all old, and one
Oh,
of them
wow.
one of them serving like school dinners. School dinners. He's like,
Wow.
but they're so Canadian. They're in the snow, like, yeah, I think the band would do really good, like, and Anvil got back together. But there was all the people from Metallica and stuff
Yeah.
like, oh, they were the best. They were the best.
What? Okay, I have to watch this.
But I'll tell you an artist that everyone hates until you go to the concert, and then everyone knows all the songs, and you go, he's all right, him. Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow is an artist that everyone like if you said, oh, he's like a Barry Manilow fan or something like that, then you go to the concert and you're there like this, for I can't smile. And then you're like, geez, I hope he plays Mandy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw a TikTok, and it was like two black guys going to Barry Manilow, and they're like, we don't know any Barry Manilow songs. They were going here ironically, and they started like pre-gaming and drinking, and then by the end of the TikTok, they're like, it's a good concert.
Yeah, I've been twice, and one time with a person kicking and screaming. One time, my ex Kate, Hank's mother, she said to me, she was over at the house, and I was there with my wife, and she goes, I've always had a dream. And I said, what's your dream? She goes, I'd like to see that short little gay fella who sings the love songs. And I'm like, what short little gay fella who sings? The one that sings about smiling and things, right? And I went, what? I went, Barry Manilow? Yeah, Barry Manilow. That's a dream of mine. I'm like, he has a residency in Vegas. We're a 40-minute flight. I don't want to be like a Make-A-Wish guy, but I reckon we can make this happen.
Dream bigger.
So
Are you free tomorrow?
I've learned, Jim, that you're very in touch with music and musical roots. I don't know anything about Barry Manilow. The only thing I know about Canada and music is like Drake's from
You
there.
don't know anything about Barry Manilow.
No.
I'll have a Manilow off with you. All right. So there's songs that you know Mandy.
I don't think I know any songs.
I mean,
like
It's
that.
a little bit ahead of our generation. Like I'm 36 and I don't know
remember
much Barry
all
Manilow. I think that's like
my
the cutoff.
Oh, Mandy, well, you came and you gave without taking, but I sent you
It was in
away.
Lost,
I think
man.
that was in a movie.
Westlife, the Irish
This is-
boy band, did a cover of it recently.
Who the fuck is that?
This is improv. This is improv. I don't believe any of that.
All right.
This is Anvil. It's all
What
fake.
about I write the songs that make the whole world sing? You don't know that
Never
one?
heard that.
No.
You don't know I can't smile. You don't know any of these songs.
No.
They're the biggest hits. You're not going to know these
Yeah.
other
Hits?
I think you know those songs.
Yeah,
I think
they
you
do.
just,
I don't think I do.
I just didn't sing them good. He also, before he
No,
was...
you're singing great. I actually was
thank
thinking, I was
you.
like, are you guys in a band? I know Jack slays and he
Yeah.
can play. It's like,
Well,
you should be in a band.
He also wrote a whole lot of
He used to do
jingles for
opera.
adverts. He wrote, I am stuck Gone Benedict.
Oh, well,
I know that
wait.
song.
Wait, he did this one too, though.
All right, Copacabana.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Oh, yeah,
this.
cool.
No, this is him. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's
number
that's one song.
That's-
But I know that
Okay.
song because
That's-
of the Star Wars parody of Copacabana.
Hold on, I'm getting the feels.
Happy people pass, stop me from shaking. And I need you today, oh man.
Nope, nothing on that one.
You don't know
Okay.
Mandy. Mandy's one of the.
If I tried to change my name to Mandy in first grade because my middle name's Amanda. So if I knew that song, that would have been
All
mine.
of this music sounds like people who listen to this didn't have broken childhoods.
No,
I'm like, I did.
Yeah, well,
This is-
now that I'm hearing it, it all sounds like soap opera music.
Oh, he's wonderful,
Yeah.
Barry. He was the Justin Bieber of his day, and now he's like.
He sounds
80.
it. Yeah, he sounds it.
Oh,
Sounds
he was,
wonderful.
don't get into the Manilow. There's even a Manilow reference in the Goldbergs.
Oh, that makes sense. They
pri-
do a
the-
lot of references. I'm
the
constantly
princi-
asking the writers what I'm talking
The
about.
principal, the principal is a Barry Manilow fan. What do you think they're called? Fanilows.
Wow.
They
good.
follow him
That's
around
good.
everywhere.
Wow. He's
Yeah.
probably been on the show.
Oh no, he doesn't do much.
He's too
He'd be
big
too-
for the
I think
show.
he'd be too
he's
old.
too big for the Goldbergs.
I think he'd be too old to like.
You'd
to-
be surprised,
I
dude.
saw-
I've seen them prop people up. You know what I mean? Like
I-
puppets
He
and
would
bring them on
look too old
stage.
for the
All right,
time.
who is
I
the
guess.
who is
Yeah, I
the
think so.
cool,
Oh,
who is the
yeah.
coolest guest star you've had on the show?
Oh gosh, who was my favorite guest star? Oh man, I wasn't. I should have had something prepped for this.
Well, you've had a few. Tommy Lee played a school teacher. That's pretty cool.
I got pretty stoked for the Hasselhoff.
I was in a movie with David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear some David Hasselhoff stories?
I really do, dude. Yeah.
I got tons.
Oh, okay. I'll give you my. I wouldn't say my favorite, but the craziest guest star we had was the Goldberg from the Mighty Ducks, and that was an interesting day.
But wasn't he like a drug addict that was homeless?
Oh
or
yeah, bro.
something?
He brought his home with him to set. I don't mean to like, I mean this like because especially because we're on a podcast. Like he was clearly struggling with addiction issues, and I have a real empathy and like soft spot for people who are going through stuff.
Sure.
But on the other flip side of that was
Funny,
really
isn't
funny
it?
and bizarre was that he actually brought his house and his luggage bag with him to set and was like full of jitters and scared everyone. And then everyone was afraid to ask him if he was okay because he like, clearly was not. And eventually they had to like. We reshot everything the next day with a new actor. That's what
Oh,
happened.
he didn't get on it.
And I was like, wow.
The
it's
photo
How did
really
they even
nuts.
contact him?
Have you? Wow,
know, dude.
He was at the front.
He was hanging out at the Overland Gate at Sony.
Have you seen photos of that cat, man?
No.
He's not looking well.
There was a moment where I thought he was getting sober and doing better, which made me happy. But that was insane.
Yeah, Goldberg, the goalie from
Sean Weiss.
Yeah, he's.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
That's bad.
Oh yeah, I've seen this
Wow.
photo. He's looking good.
Yeah, he lost the weight though. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He inspired me for sure.
That's a fun bring up. There was a homeless guy. We all felt really sad for him. That was my favourite.
No, it definitely wasn't my favorite, but it was interesting.
I tell you, when Brad Pitt played the weatherman on the Jim Jeffries show, right? So the only person who'd spoken to Brad was me, and Brad texted me, and I liaisoned with him, and he said, "Oh, you'll be the weatherman," and only through text, right? And then he was meant to show up, and I said, well, let's give him a trailer, and let's give we needn't do that for any other guest stars, but we're like, let's make sure we take care of him and all that sort of stuff. And then he was a little late, and then I realised that I was the only way. No one believed that I knew him. Everyone was like this. Are you sure? Your brother was like, are you sure he's coming?
You're like, I have a
said, "It
girlfriend in
says so-
Canada."
It says so on the text. He's going to be here. And I was standing out in the car park like this. Come on, Brad. please show up.
Well, talk about working with Judd Hirsch.
I love Judd
Oh
Hirsch.
man, he's incredible. So it's funny because especially speaking of like sometimes people brought on they're a little older. Judd's so sharp and so funny and still so enigmatic. And I think my favorite thing about him is that like he's really open and honest. Like some actors when they're on set are just private and to themselves. Like they're there for a job. Like especially like when you've been working as long as he has. Like his career is so long. Like he doesn't need to be hanging out with guys my age and being like shooting the shit. He can just come in, get his lines in, and go home. But he had a really good time hanging out with us. Like he's clearly one of those actors like me who like just loves being in the environment.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's where you want to be. And we were telling stories and he was telling me about when he won his first big Emmy and then like his second Emmy, and I think they won their second Emmy for his show right as they were canceling their show. It was like their 4th season. He was getting his second Emmy, on Taxi. And he was telling this story about how he was getting the Emmy, knowing he had just been told right before the Emmys that the show was no longer getting picked up, and he was receiving the Emmy while looking at the head of the network who was canceling his show. And so he had to have one of these moments where you have to be gracious and grateful that, you're being given this prestigious award. And at the same time, all he can think is like, and why the fuck are you canceling the show?
Yeah.
And so I just asked him, I was like, dude, like, it makes me feel better to know that other actors have real human feelings. Like, it's okay to be bitter and upset in moments where you're supposed to be grateful and kind.
You've done more acting than I have, and every actor I've met is bitter and angry. me included. I like when you're saying you're enjoying yourself on set. I think if I ever get another TV show again where I'm on the regular, I'm going to try to smell the roses a little bit more, because the whole time I did Legit, I was just panicking. I was just like, the whole thing was just going to get cancelled. I got to do this, and even with the Jim Jeffy show, I got to stop this from being cancelled. But now I'm just like, I've gotten to a stage now after 2 sort of cancelled shows where I'm like, they just cancel them. There's not a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And so you just sit back and fucking wait for what's going to happen, and you hope for the best.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason.
Ethan Hawke did a really cool talk show. It was like Jimmy Kimmel or something, and he mentioned, he goes, they were like, if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be? And I remember hearing this like 5 years ago and being like, I'm just going to think about that from now on. Ethan Hawke was like, I wish I could tell my younger self, like don't worry. Like, stop being so focused on the future that you can't enjoy what you're currently going through. Because I think I spent the youth of my acting just like so worried and so like full of nerves or anxiety or thoughts about like the performance or how everything's going to turn out, that I never really enjoyed what I was actually going through and really was in the moment. And he goes, and now I just look back and I'm like, oh, I wish I could tell my younger self that. So I, as an actor, when I heard that, was like, I'm going to do that. Because I think like
How's that going for you?
so fucking good, dude. Oh my God. Haven't you seen my IMDb credits? It's been one thing for 5 years.
You seem like a happy guy.
I'm an optimist, but I am nihilistic by nature.
Oh, I'm a pessimist. The beautiful thing about being pessimistic is, the only beautiful thing about it is, you're never disappointed. You're just right. Being right doesn't cheer you up, man. But at least you're right.
Yeah, I'm optimistic for everybody else except for myself.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I do. I'm like,
others.
everything's gonna be great, and then myself, I'm like, I'm gonna die tomorrow.
That's interesting. I feel similar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do.
I
Seem pretty happy-go-lucky.
Guys, we need to hang out more. I'm going to cheer you up. I think you guys are fantastic.
I don't like people that cheer me up.
I was so
You
excited.
had Dan Bacadol on the show.
Say again?
Dan Bacadol on the show.
Oh, yeah.
He plays the science teacher.
Jack and I have talked about this off air all the time. I love Dan. Dan and I nerded
he's
out
one of
on
my best
Survivor.
friends. Yeah.
I know this.
I've started Survivor now.
Oh, bro, you're doing
Survivor.
Bachelor and
So
Survivor?
good.
Yeah.
Your wife's going to leave you,
I
dude.
ran out of Bachelor, and I was just like, all right, Survivor.
Wait.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
How did you jump from Dan Bacadol to Survivor?
So he's a big Survivor fan.
He's
like
a
I
big
am.
Survivor. He's
didn't know.
madly in Survivor, yeah.
He's got a couple of impressions from the more enigmatic characters from Survivor history, and it's fucking spot on. I don't know if I can curse on this thing, but it is so
Yes.
good.
No, please.
He and
This
I-
is a
Don't swear.
G-rated podcast.
Don't swear.
You can pull your dick out.
All right, let's do it. Let's compare sizes. Kelly, you first.
Now you can't.
Don't want to embarrass you guys.
Thank you for that.
Kelly will just laugh at everybody.
Yeah. Mine's laughable. Thanks, Jack. You didn't have to say that. No, but Dan is so funny, and we had such a good time. And he's been to a few of the finales, and he takes his son, and so we were just going nuts. Like, I'm also a big fan of his, so whenever I see him, I'm always like, oh, dude, like, I just want to ask you more stories and shoot the shit. And like, I mean, he's the best.
I've told this
I
story
love him.
before to all you, but I'll tell it for the podcast people. When we did Legit, I had a different character in mind to play Steve. Different look or what, you just have an idea in your head who you want to have walk through the door to play this game. And because Steve was based on a real friend of mine, I wanted that guy, you know. But then Dan came in and he was in a corduroy jacket with like pads on the elbows and like a shirt that was like half tucked in like this. And he came in just flustered like Kramer or something. He walked in the door, he's like this. And I'm sitting there, it's good. Hello, how are you? And he goes, how am I? You left me out there so long, I've probably got a ticket. I'm like, this guy's insane. Right? I went, all right, let's do the scene, right? He comes in, hey, blah, 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 blah. He does a really good thing of the scene, and then he's like, "We done?"
For context, in case
Yeah.
anyone didn't already know, when actors approach a room and there's people in there, especially the producer, lead writer, the star of the show, is
Yeah.
like, "Hey, how you doing?" You always go like, "Great!" Even if someone's suffering outside, you just broke your leg. You're like, "Good, everything's fantastic."
Yeah, and then
Was that okay? You want to do it again?
A lot of them say things like,
Not
"Thanks
there.
so much for letting me play with you guys." Bye, like this, right? They come in.
From now on, when I'm done with an audition,
Sometimes people are a little flirty with you. Like, I remember thinking, "Oh, that girl really seemed to be a bit flirty with
really
me."
liked
It's like
you.
everyone's just like, "Oh," and they're all complimenting me on my acting. I'm reading with, "Oh, you're great." Am I?
whenever I'm done with an audition from now on, I'm gonna go, "You were okay," and then leave the room. This is fine.
He was like, "We
I've
done."
had better times.
We're done. All right. Like this, right? And he sort of, and he left, right? Anyway, he gets a call back, and we ring him up, and he's like, we're like, we love that guy. He's insane, right? He's just like what I want. I just want Steve to be that guy. I'm rewriting the whole thing. I just want that guy, right? Anyway, so he comes back for his callback. In my mind, I've already cast him, and he comes back. He goes, "Hey, great to see you all. Sorry about the other day. Parking ticket. I was having a bad morning." Like this. I'm like, "Don't be. Go back to that."
You get like as a PA to go put a parking ticket on his car. Might want to go check your car, buddy. Before you come back.
There was the first season. At the end of the season, we had an episode. Billy gets a prostitute pregnant, who was actually my son was in the belly at the time. Oh no, maybe he's just come out and was okay. But my ex, who was in, I met her in the first episode. She's playing the prostitute in the first episode. By the time we'd done the pilot and had all the then for the last episode, she was pregnant. So we went, how about we bring the prostitute back as pregnant, and we have the disabled guys impregnated the prostitute, and. I said that'll be funny, and I can get my girlfriend some work, and all good. But it turned out to be a good storyline, right? So, so we had her come back. We had this big baby shower scene at the end of season 1, and we had nothing for the Steve character. Sometimes when you're writing, I had stuff for me, stuff for Billy, stuff for the prostitute, stuff for all these different things. We had loads of disabled people on set, like loads of disabled extras because the main character was disabled and all that stuff. And we had nothing for Steve, for Dan. And I was like, Dan's like, "Yeah, I don't have a lot to do this episode." He goes,
He just says it. Everyone's thinking.
"Yeah." And I
Hell
said,
Dan.
"Yeah, I'm thinking of something." And he goes, "How about I just get he's like, so he used to be an alcoholic. Well, he's an alcoholic, but he doesn't drink anymore. And he goes, "How about I just get wasted drunk at the baby shower and just I'll be in the background just causing mischief in every scene." and I was like, "Brilliant, let's go for it."
Let's go.
Right? And so
Good pitch,
Dan's
good pitch.
there, he's sculling beers, he's got hardly any dialogue, but he's just wasted at every scene. Anyway, the next season we sit down, all right, we've got to write season 2. And the first thing that everyone in the room went, "Okay, so Steve's an alcoholic now." and so we go, he's like, opening episode, he's lost his job. And he's an alcoholic, and progressively it'll get worse, right? So Dan shows up and goes, "Yeah, how about my character's just always wearing the same sweatpants and a white t-shirt?" Brilliant. Yeah, he's a guy that's just like, Dan was in and out of wardrobe every morning in seconds.
That's amazing. Dan was just making his life easier.
Yeah, he
He's
set
like,
it-
I
he
feel like
set
drinking
himself
while
up
I'm working.
perfectly.
Yeah, well, sweats and a tea. Let's pitch the writers. I can always say no.
His story got really tragic. He lost his kid in season 2 and all that type of stuff. Oh, he was the best. And it's very rare that you me, DJ, and Dan, all three of us, we had an instant rapport, the three of us, where we got along right away. Now, I'll tell you a funny story about DJ. So my special came out. I don't know when this is airing, but it came out on Valentine's Day, which was 2 days ago. We're airing it, recording it now. And there's the Elton John story, right? The Elton John story, where basically that story is the reason that DJ Qualls came out, right? We knew he was gay, but the public didn't know. And DJ always worried about it because DJ, I think, holds the record for losing his virginity on screen more than anyone else.
That's a good record.
You telling that story is when you came out, not like at the Elton John concert.
So DJ, every movie, he's always the geeky white guy. In black movies, he's always the guy that shows up at the frat, and then in things, he's always the guy. I've never had on my sitcom. He loses his virginity in the opening episode. Always, he just has a virgin face to him, DJ. Anyway, and he acknowledges this.
Yeah.
That's his bread and butter, losing his virginity.
Hey man, you said it.
Anyway, so we're at the Elton John concert. Elton gives a big speech, and I say, this is the very short version of the story. I say, I think I should do that in my shows, thank the audience. I never thank them. I just sort of do my material and I go away. I think that'd be a nice thing to do. And then DJ turns to me and goes, yeah, but with your fan base, someone would just yell out fag. And as he did that, Elton John had stopped talking. Now, in the routine, Elton turns around, but in reality, it was all the people sitting
This
around.
This is in
us.
your special, right?
Yeah, this is my special.
Okay, cool.
And,
I was sitting next to you. I remember it happening.
Yeah. And,
I think I've heard this before.
yeah, and he yelled out, and he goes fag, and he yells it out, and then Elton John looks up and I'm just like, anyway, literally 2 weeks later, I'm gigging in San Diego, and I tell the story, but I don't say who it is because DJ's not out of the closet. No, I just said a friend of mine, and this happened, and blah blah blah. And then DJ just shuffled onto the stage, just walked out, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And he just walked up to me, and his eyes were as wide as anything. And I went, hello, DJ. And he just took the microphone, and he was like, it was me. I'm gay. Thank you. And he left, and everyone was like, this. I go, that's the guy from Road Trip. And everyone, he's the guy from Road Trip. Anyway, so, and then he tweeted about it. You can, if you go back in his tweets, he tweeted about, I just came out of the Jim Jeffries show. I'm gay, everyone.
Wow.
That's how he came out. So I tell the story of him yelling out fag at this thing, and I'm using the word in context of what happened in the story. So
And he said it.
And he said, yeah, cancel him. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Anyway, so I get some comedy, Netflix people come out and they watch the special before I record it, and then the legal department ring up and they're like this. They're like, you have to get a non-disclosure form from DJ Qualls because you're talking about him. And DJ was out of the country or something like that. And I said, so I rang DJ up and I said, hey, DJ, I'm telling the story about the Elton John concert. And he goes, I'm not going to sue you, man. I love you. We're friends. Do you think I'm going to sue a friend? I'm not going to sue you. And then,
Just like
he went like this. He goes, anyway, I already told that story at Comic-Con. I mean, all right, we're fine.
You know what's crazy? I don't remember. I think I might have walked your dad back to the hotel. I wasn't there when it happened. I was at the gig, and we had two shows. I had to walk you back to the hotel. I think that's when it happened. I was out of the theater, and I remember coming back in, and because there was a bunch of people backstage. I'm like, hey, where are we at in the show? And you're like, DJ Qualls just came out of stage. I go, the fuck?
And then there was
Step out of the theater for 5 minutes.
There's like gay people appeared from nowhere. I came on stage and there's like 9 gay guys. And they were like, he's come out. And we're like, okay.
We went out afterwards.
We went out on the tear afterwards. And it was,
Did you rename the tour Jim Jeffries Safe Space?
and we went out, and it was just like watching someone. It does look like a lot of fun coming out. It looks like everyone was so happy.
That's cool.
Around people that are supportive.
Yeah, right. We were all
it's fun.
supportive, but we were going night. Justin Martindale was there, right?
Yeah, Justin was opening.
Yeah, and so Justin's gay. I don't know if I've blown his cover. Oh, God. Anyway,
Get an NDA.
so we all went out, and me and Forrest were great allies.
Ah, yeah.
We were allying the night away in gay clubs, right?
Time allies. Just drinking mostly.
Yeah, just drinking. No, we weren't sucking dicks or nothing, but like good allies. Right?
Great allyship.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't know if that was like the prerequisite for ally. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the most ally you can be.
Jack, come here.
I pretty much ended a relationship because of that night, because I was planning to go to San Diego to those shows, and the guy I was dating was like, no, I wanna hang all weekend, blah, blah, blah. And he ended up bailing. And DJ texted me right after the show and was like, Kelly, I just came out on stage. And I was so fucking furious that I missed that moment. So I was like, I can't, no. I was so mad.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Because you're close with DJ.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
And he had been talking about it for a while, like an opportunity and like
he didn't
all of
tell
that
me
stuff.
the first season. He didn't tell me. I never asked.
Yeah.
Well, how do you?
That's the first thing I ask people when I meet them. I'm like, hey, what's your sexual orientation?
Yeah, but it's funny
I forgot to ask you that, Sean.
because Kate knew, because
I'll show
Kate
you in
was
the
in the
bathroom
first
for us.
season. She knew. This is a woman I had a child with, and she didn't tell me. She goes, "Well, it was DJ's secret to tell."
Yeah.
Like that. Like I was like, "Why didn't he tell?" And then you get offended. And then you're, why wouldn't he tell me?
Yeah.
And he's like, he didn't know how you'd react. What have I done?
Not
Wait,
an hour.
yeah, what have I done in the past that made me seem like I would react poorly to this?
Some
Oh,
people,
God.
some people react in a way that you don't expect. You can't really take chances. He didn't
Yeah.
feel like
I'll
he
tell
could
you
take
what.
chances.
I'll tell you what has happened with this special, which completely surprised me. I thought I was going to get a lot of grief from the trans community. It's only been a few days, so that could
There's still time.
That could still be in the mail.
Yeah.
Still be in the mail. But I've had 3 trans people reach out to me, just 3, but it's all been positive.
Yay!
Oh, that's great.
I had one trans person say, "Thanks for punching up," and another person, "I'm trans, I really enjoyed the show," blah blah. And then
that's
my
wonderful.
favourite one's this one. Someone wrote to me to tell me, because my whole thing is how trans men, women who become men, they'll never know the pain of male pattern baldness because, you know, they always seem to keep their full head of hair. If they want to transition properly, shave the horseshoe in, grow a bit out the
You
side.
know, it's funny. It's like this moment actually gave me a moment of pain, but I'll let you continue and then I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You ruined my day. No.
Did you used to be called Samantha? Anyway, so I did that, and then a bald trans guy wrote to me. And he went, "Once we start taking the testosterone, the hair falls out." And I'm like, "Stand corrected." I'm like, "All right, thank you for educating me on that. I clearly didn't know." So to any trans bald men out there, I apologize for making fun of your hair loss.
Well, it's funny. I was actually thinking of your bit about hair loss, because I was at an open mic and pulling shit out of a hat. And when I pulled one of the things out of the hat, it was like, talk about something relevant. And I had just finished microneedling my own head to keep my own hair.
Microneedling?
Yeah, I do microneedling. And so,
I don't know what that is, but
well, I'll show you later.
I
in the
get it.
bathroom.
I figured it out.
It's
It's like a really small
Got
needle.
a huge bathroom chair plunge. So many things.
But as I was doing, I was like pulling this thing, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just talk about male pattern baldness." And I was like, I just had seen your special, and was like, I can't. You're not supposed to do that at open mics. And then it brought me this question I should ask you, for anyone listening to it. I don't know if anyone else is curious, but like, how relatable is too relatable when you're coming up with material?
This is funny that you've just said. Okay, so there's an article on Vulture that came out after my special, and I do a joke about Propecia not giving erections, and then they wrote an article and they found 5 other comics who have done a similar joke about. And you know what I feel about that is like, dude, it's if I take a tablet that stops me getting an erection, I'm going to comment on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
Or everything's off the table. As soon as my dick's limp, I own whatever I have to
Immediate
say.
commentary.
Whatever I have
Yeah.
to say about this. And obviously, it's such an easy joke to write. Propecia stops you from getting erect. And there's Pete Davidson, and there was Orny Adams. And
There's a lot more to the joke, too.
There's a lot more. And my hairpiece
I don't know who any of those other people are.
Yeah, well, but my Pete Davidson.
No, I don't know who that is. Drawing a blank.
Anyway, so all my bit's a lot bigger, but it was just this one line out of maybe a 10-minute routine. There was one line that I say the thing about repeat. But like, imagine if there was some comic I've seen a lot of women do a routine about sweat under their tits. They've done this thing and you lift it up and the smell or something, or the sweat or something. Imagine if that guy wrote like, "Enough with the tits. Enough with mentioning your sweaty tits." Or imagine if there was a chemo patient talking about hair loss. Been done before. Come to me with a new chemo bit, you fucking hack.
Well, it's funny. It's like that's one of my favorite moments of your special too, because like as a dude who has hair loss, I just like
And
it just
erectile
made me laugh.
dysfunction.
And some ED, baby. I can't take Propecia. I have to do it topically because I do get the dick thing.
You do the drops?
Yeah. So, but I microneedle it in, so it's a little more effective because I didn't want to be rubbing fucking oil in my hair every day.
Yeah,
I'm
I
already
rub
greasy
the
enough.
oil in every day. I've gone off the tablets. My hair's falling out again. Oh, it's funny. So I just
Wait, Jim, didn't you
I love how
say-
you're like, I didn't want to put oil in my hair. I
Didn't
put
you
needles
say the
in.
guy that wrote the article had a full head of hair, too?
Oh yeah, that article would have never been written by a bald man. And I've always said this about Will Smith.
About like a bald comedian.
Will
Who could have
Smith
had to write
would
it.
not have slapped Chris Rock if Chris Rock or Will Smith was bald. If Will Smith was bald and Jada Pinkett Smith looked at him, he would have been like, "Bitch, please."
No, but you're saying you're not allowed to write that article unless
Yeah.
you're bald.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because it would have been like, if Ron Jeremy wrote the article about comedians talking about small dicks, and he's like, enough with the small dick jokes, everybody.
That's insane.
But you're always going to get criticism from people who aren't in that group. They're going to go, shut the fuck up, we're sick of hearing
In
it.
his defense, he didn't accuse anyone of stealing a joke or anything like that. But it's like he sort of referenced it to, it's like aeroplane food jokes. But here's the thing. You know why we write so many jokes about aeroplane food? Because we're on airplanes all the fucking time as comedians. This is what's surrounding us. We're on airplanes. We're checking in. We've all got airplane bits. You know what? We're all trying to keep our hair to keep on fucking television. And we're all having fucking limp dicks.
Well, especially like as an audience member, right? Like as someone who wants to watch a good special, you have to have something that I can relate to make me laugh.
Yeah.
You're like, because I leave your special being like, man, I'm so lonely. I don't have a wife. I don't have sex. Like, how can I relate to any of that? That was great. Everything's so brilliant, dude. But like, no, like that. Hearing that, I'm like, oh, dude, whatever. I need more Propecia jokes to feel better about my life. Please.
Go watch my early work. You'll relate.
No.
I've never heard that review before. I feel like I watched Jim's special and I need to get a family.
This guy's living. No, my favorite part was I was watching, I think because we do comedy, I'm all involved in comedy. I don't necessarily do stand-up, but like we're always doing sketches and comedy shit. And so I'm always writing stuff. And as I was watching you do the setup for one of your punchlines, you were going like, happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching this being like, okay, I'm waiting for him to crest. Like I'm waiting, I want to see like you're setting up, when's the punchline coming? And I'm thinking in my head, when's the punchline coming? Just like as a writer. But then somehow, as you're saying this bit, I just start chuckling because you're so charismatic.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden you go, but they don't do that for men, right? And I just started laughing. I was like, oh, there it is. I forgot that I was analyzing the joke. It was
that's
so good.
like okay, so that's I wrote that joke, whatever. But it feels like one of those old sort of like guy who opens up for Sinatra type of a gag.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, women are like tiles. Yeah. You lay them right the first time. You can walk over them for the rest of your life. You know those ones?
Henny Youngman. Take my wife, please.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And so, because people have been writing to me after the special, like, oh, how's the wife dealing with it? Fine.
Yeah.
She's fine.
She's fine. She had to sign a paperwork to say she wouldn't.
Well,
sue.
they did also. They did as well. With DJ, they said also get your wife to sign something, and I'm like, dude. This is how she sues me. Divorce.
Yeah,
right.
And she's not suing me, and we've still got a happy marriage.
How would you like her to sign as the wife? I don't think you mentioned her name.
I did Access Hollywood, which I think is on Monday, and I did Mario Lopez and I think Kit. I've forgotten her second name, but Kit. Very nice people, super great crew. You do that show, they're all really nice, and the crew will laugh at your jokes, and that makes your jokes feel better. You know, the cameramen are laughing, that sort of stuff. But there was a picture behind me of me and my wife at a movie premiere, and they have different pictures around you of you type of thing. Right?
Kit Hoover.
Kit Hoover, yeah, she's lovely. And so we're there, and they go, that's your wife. I go, look at how beautiful my wife is. Then Mario Lopez, who is astoundingly good looking in the flesh. He is so, and he's like, I think he's a few years older than me.
Yeah.
He's hot.
Yeah,
that guy lifts.
He's 49.
Yeah, exactly. I just turned 46. He's a few years older than me. Wow. He is super happy with dimples, and he's fucking full head of hair. And then they're trying to get me to do jokes of the special. Like that. Normally you do a pre-interview, and then they say, have you got any stories? This one, there was no pre-interview, but they'd watched the special. So they went, oh, what about this? What about that? And he goes, so, how's your hair going? Like that, right? And I'm like, well, blah, 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 take Propecia, da, 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 da. And he's sitting there with his full fucking head of beautiful hair. It's slicked back and it's like high. It's like pushed backwards, but it's still, you got to matter down all the follicles. There's so much hair on this cut, right? He looks
a comb.
He looks so good. Anyway, the picture behind me is of me and my wife, and it's from the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood premiere. So this is like 4 years ago, like that, right? My hair is thicker in that shot, and I'm not grey. Now I'm completely grey. I dyed it for the special, but I'm completely grey. In the last 4 years, I've gone completely grey. And he goes, so you've got a little bit of grey on the side there. Jesus. And I'm like, yeah. I said, you look at that picture, I'm not grey anymore. I go, that's what, I was like an old school going, that's what marriage will do to you.
Nice.
That is the only thing that's changed in that time. Is marriage and a new kid. It's like being the president.
He is hot. I'm looking at him. Yeah.
I was wondering why you
that's-
went so quiet.
He looks like one of those people who just like eats plasma.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, he does something. There's some commercial. He's like, it was like on social media. He goes, there's a secret I want to share with everybody. And it was something about like
Adrenal glands.
No,
Adrenal
not what he
glands.
did,
Finally.
but it was some digestive issues he's had and what he's done about it. I'm like, nobody wants to hear about your issues, Mario. You look great.
yeah.
that's not
Right,
true.
yeah.
I wanted to hear about
I
that.
sat next to him on a plane once,
No, I
but
mean,
I didn't talk to him. And then, you know when you do something like that, and then I told him that story, that riveting story.
Mm-hmm.
Sat next to you once on a plane. I didn't want to bother you. That was the whole story. And he goes, really? Where are we going? I don't remember. You were looking at Dodgers things on your phone. I like the Dodgers too.
Oh God.
I'm glad Jim Jeffries has moments of fanboyism that also goes wrong. You know what I mean? It's good.
I've got fanboy moments at the fucking wazoo of me meeting people and saying I'll tell you one story. That this isn't even me meeting anyone. One time I did Kimmel and the other guest was Margot Robbie. And so I just hung out in my dressing room door, like her dressing room there, the stage is there, I'm in the middle door. So I just hung out my door, like acting like I was waiting for someone. And I thought when she walks by, there's a chat. She's Australian. Oh, I'm Australian. Maybe she knows my comedy, right? Maybe I've got it in there. And so I went. I've got a couple of Kimmel stories. So I stand there and I went. And she walked by. And I went, hey, how you going? And she's like, hi. And I went, I'm Australian too. Oh, no. No, that's the end of...
That's how you lead.
That's the end
There's
of
so
her-
few of you now in Hollywood. You have to lead with that.
I said to Jessica, when I was on Kimmel, Jessica Simpson was the other guest, and she was about 8 months pregnant, and I thought my opening line was brilliant. I said, oh, my wife was pregnant. We have a baby now.
All right.
Real natural.
Nailed it.
We got a few minutes left here.
What have you got for us, Jack?
Oh,
You got Sean.
I do have Sean, but I do have a quick segment we can do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, I want to point out a side note. I forgot to say this earlier. I should have mentioned Dan McAdall as the best guest star that I've worked with.
Oh,
but
really?
the actual truth is, it's Tim Meadows. I see him as a series regular, but he's actually a guest star.
He's very funny, Tim Meadows.
and I
he has
love
the
that
parrot
man.
that lives forever.
yeah,
That's
he's
his whole thing.
very funny.
Yeah, everyone who says, like, I was just watching Amy Schumer's sketch show and they were raving on about how the best guest star was Tim Meadows. Everyone loves that guy.
Yeah.
He's
he
such a
seems
good
cool.
dude.
Well, he
He's
was
so
like
funny.
SNL. He was on there a long time.
You know how to
Long
do
time.
No, yeah.
it. Right, what do you got, Jack?
It's called Complete the Gym Quote.
All right.
So I looked up some quotes of yours on the internet.
Yeah.
Some were jokes, some I think were just interviews, but we'll
Who's
see if you
completing
can
these?
see who finished it first and then remember your points.
Okay.
All right, so if you
Am
don't...
I allowed to play?
Oh, yeah, you can, of course you can play.
I don't remember anything I said.
If you don't drink, then all of your stories suck and end with...
And then I got home.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, all the stories
that's
go.
a bit.
And then I
Yeah.
got home.
Okay.
But the thing about that joke is that also is for drunks as well. And then I got home. But for some reason, people laughed at that.
Next, the Bible should be on one sheet of paper, and on that sheet of paper, it should say...
I know it.
Are we supposed to answer this?
Yeah, anyone can answer.
Don't be a cunt.
Don't
Yeah,
be a cunt. Yeah,
wow.
don't be a cunt. That's the Bible.
These are all bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some
Oh,
are.
I thought these were like interviews.
I feel like this is some question like, did I do my homework before I got
Yeah.
here?
I mean, this will be easier
Like-
for. I mean, I've seen a lot of these.
Not all
over and over,
of our
so, yeah.
segments are me centric. Normally it's just like okay.
It's like, is this
No, shouldn't-
1800s
no, it should-
president or KFC CEO?
I feel like it should be you centric. Your name is all over the Patreon and the podcast.
Yeah,
right?
he's the 90 cents of
That's
the
true.
Patreon.
It'd be weird if it was like, no, we're gonna make it about Sean Marquette and Jack Hackett.
Now, this one I saw misquoted a couple times, so I want you to tell me which is what the correct quote is. Here's the thing about people who believe in God. ...
They're wrong.
I have any other guesses?
They're
Something
stupid. I don't know.
No, it's something
Drag on
like
society.
I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate.
They're great.
They're desperate.
What you believe in, but please know that you're wrong, or something like that.
So I have the full quote as, here's the thing about people who believe in God. They're fucking stupid.
That's
Or-
funny too.
they're idiots. Which one sounds more like you? Fucking stupid sounds like you,
fucking
but
stupid.
idiots also could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd go with fucking stupid.
I don't remember.
I'm sure he's probably said that line more than once.
Yeah,
I think both are probably.
I have a lot of variables on that line.
Yeah.
That depends
Yeah, what
on-
night were you saying it?
Yeah.
We have a drinking game in Australia. It's called.
Drinking.
Yep.
That's why I liked Australia when I went.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that,
yeah. No
is that
one plays
tone.
beer pong or anything like that. We just go.
Yeah. I got him to play beer pong for the first time at Nolan's party.
I don't,
no
I don't,
way.
I don't have the coordination, but yeah.
How'd you do?
Well, my wife had passed out already. It was her first night of drinking in years. Like,
Good for her.
yeah, and she went for it.
Yeah.
And
Hell
she was
yeah.
done in 45 minutes.
That's the only way to party.
But this is my wife. My wife lives such a good life that she, like, I carry around burdens like that where I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Where she was like this, oh, I guess I got too drunk. She was like, she was fine.
Do we need to go now, Kelly?
Last one. I'm
Okay.
gonna email him.
If you hate gay marriage, then
Don't marry a gay person.
ding, ding, ding.
That's just a joke. That's just a good joke.
It's good.
If you don't like gay marriage, don't marry a gay person.
That's just a solid joke, man.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's the Patreon.
You want to sing the outro song?
And in the end, the Patreon you get is equal to the Patreon
$1.25.
The $1.25.
you met.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
$1.25.
sure.
That should have been the last lyrics of the Beatles. The Beatles' last song, and in the end, the love you get is equal to
Love you take is equal
the
to
love
love
you
you make.
take is equal to the love you make. What a beautiful
I
sentence.
have that tattooed on me.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's like all the way down my side.
And
won't go
then,
looking
and
for that
then
one.
for some reason, Paul went, I've got this song, The Majesty, that I just want to sort of put on the end, you know. Your Majesty's a pretty nice girl, so she doesn't have a lot to say. Bum, 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 bum. That's the last thing to come out of the Beatles. It's like, just you had the
Yeah.
perfect ending. And you fucking pissed it up the wall. And that's why the Beatles will never be a great band.
Wow. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Paul McCartney will never make it into the rock and roll.
I tell you what, I saw like, so Stella McCartney has a new range with Adidas, right? Because they got to make up some of that Kanye money. And
We're supposed to end the podcast.
yeah, I know, but but Ringo showed up, and there's footage of Ringo and Paul just having a dance to "Young Love, Run Free, Never Be Home," like that. And they just, if you didn't know they were two of the most famous men in the world, you'd be like, "Who are these two old cunts who have decided to jig around together?" Good night, Australia.